Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video we're going to be doing a little bit of building for this site. We're going to be dropping in our styles, we're going to be busting things out into partials, and we're going to be creating our side navigation. Now, we don't have all the pages ready for that yet, but having the navigation there will be one step we won't have to worry about when we do. So let's get going on that right now. Okay, so now's a great time to drop in our styles. So we have our styles, and I will make a link available to these styles on the description of the video. So go ahead and throw these into your stylus file right here. If you don't know stylus, don't worry about it. Either way, we shouldn't really need to modify this to get this project going. I just want to throw this in here so it's working. Now, by the time you head back to your site, you should see it's looking quite a bit different. In fact, mine's a little zoomed in right now, so I'm going to zoom out just a hair. Okay, and you can see we have this form. You can see we have our plus button down here now instead of the weird plus and minus. So these look a little bit better. Okay, cool. Okay, so everything's looking really, really nice here. Or at least it's looking acceptable. Let's come back to our code and let's go ahead and add our side navigation. Now, this side navigation is going to appear on the side of our website, and it's going to quickly allow us to just change our different views. Obviously, it's what a navigation does. But we can head to our layout code and let's add a new file, and let this file name be sidenav.html. Okay, this template is going to be named sidenav. Side nav, like so. Cool. Now let's have a nav with the class of side nav. Okay, and a unordered list with 3 list items inside of it, and each side of each one of those is going to be an anchor tag. Cool, so nothing too crazy there. Now we want this to be our recipe book link, so we can say recipe-book. Now we'll want this link to be our menu, so we could say -menu, and we want the last link to be our link to our shopping list, like so. Now we can go ahead and just add shopping list menu. Okay, like so, right? We're just essentially filling this out. Now, in addition, I want to throw some icons in here. We have the Font Awesome package added to our site. So we can use any Font Awesome icon we'd like. We can say fa-list for the recipe book. Now, the menu itself, this can be fa-map-o, and this is just going to be a map. I think that looks pretty good for a menu. It actually looks quite a bit like a menu. You'll see in a second. Now we can say i.fa-shopping-cart. Shopping cart. Okay, like so. I'm going to make this unordered list look a little bit more presentable. Usually I like to break out things like this if it's getting a little too crazy here. Nothing too fancy, just making it easier to read since I have wrapping on. Okay, so we now have these lists and links like so. Now we want to go ahead and use this side nav. However, this is where our layouts are going to come into handy, because at this point we have these 2 layouts, the main layout and the home layout, and they're not that different. But now we want to include the sidebar into our main layout. And obviously we don't want it in our home page because this is something we only want accessible to users that are logged in. So, and even though we haven't written that logic yet to do that, let's go ahead and say greater than side nav, and we will now have our sidebar. If we head back to our site, you can now see this lovely side navigation that I have quickly thrown together for you, and you can see it's looking pretty good. If we make this smaller, it's even responsive, heads down here like so. Make it bigger. There we go. Although right now you see it is covering up this side of the page because this is position fixed. Let's go ahead and fix that by adding a class to our main right here, and we can say class equals main-layout. Now this should fix any of those issues. Upon refresh, you now see we have this nice little area here, and we have the ability to change our routes. Of course, if you click any of these routes, it's going to give you an error. There is no path for this route. So until we create those routes, don't worry about these links, but it looks quite a bit nicer. Now, another thing I want to do is break out this header into its own partial as well. So we had this partials, and it actually might be more appropriate for the side nav to live in the partials. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is, like, honestly one of my favorite parts of Meteor. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I can open in Finder here. I can drag this sidenav.html into partials, and this site doesn't care. It just doesn't care. I don't have to tell it anywhere. I don't have to reference it anywhere. I don't have to change a path on another file. I do want to make sure I close this before saving it, or else it's going to resave it. But now you can see I have the side nav and partials. That makes more sense, right? And it was really easy. Okay, so let's make a new file, make a new partial, and it's just going to be header.html and template. You guessed it, the name is going to be header with a capital H, because that's how I'm doing it. Okay. And now inside of the header template, simply just grab everything from the main layout header. There we go. Paste it in here like so. Nice and easy. Now we can reference this as header. And you might wonder, why is that necessary? Well, now in our main layout, or our home layout, we can use the same template tag here, and we only have to edit the header in one spot. It's just a don't repeat yourself sort of thing, and it's a common practice to be using partials for that sort of thing. Now, when we go to any page on our site, it should have the header just like we remember it. Although, of course, we need to route to a proper position. If we come home here, you can see organize your meals. Eventually, when you're logged in, it will automatically redirect you to recipe book, where you have your side navigation here. Perfect, so we now have the styles in. Now this thing's looking infinitely better, and we now have what's coming together as what's a nice looking web application. Now there's a lot of things to fix. For instance, we are on the recipe book page, but there's no indication, so we need to add an active state to these routes. We want to start our actual listing for our recipes, so we're not just looking at them inside of our Meteor Toys Mongol. But either way, things are really coming together. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you like our videos, head over to store.leveluptutorials.com and check out what we have going on there and help support the creation of free tutorials. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.